go. You guys got me one more time before I don't see you guys for 6 weeks. Get them in.
Excited to see Jonah?
Yeah, it's good to have him back. Whenever somebody has business going on, it's always nice to get him back around the guys, see their face.
Who has better hair, you or him?
I like his hair right now.
Have you given any thought to, if you don't have a new deal done before the season, would you be comfortable playing at your current situation?
I think I've given you guys all the information that I'm comfortable with sharing about that process. So as far as questions go about that, probably save that for another time. No questions anymore, huh?
Wrap this up real quick.
So is it easier to get away from football over the next 5+ weeks than it was maybe looking back as a rookie, or does it get tougher to totally turn it off a little bit?
I wouldn't say this is the time to get away from it. I would say these next 5-6 weeks for me are getting my mind right to go through the grind of the season. So I would say this is the time where I kind of ramp up my mentality and ramp up my training to get ready for the season.
To this point of off-season, Joe, and these practices, what have been some of the most important things you've accomplished?
Well, the biggest thing with this off-season program, and I think, is just getting around the guys, building the team culture. Obviously, the stuff on the field, you get a little bit out of it. But you see the young guys, but we've been together for so long now. We know the timing with the guys that have been here. The biggest part is just getting around the guys, building the team culture, and kind of implementing the new guys into that culture.
So obviously, Jonah wasn't here. It was a business situation, but you had a really good turnout for the voluntary stuff as a group. What did that mean?
Yeah, I think guys like being around each other. Guys like being here. Our coaches are great. Strength staff is great. Training room is great. So I think guys just realize they can get the best work right here and not have to pay for anything and get paid to do it.
What have been your first impressions of Charlie Jones, and do you feel like he can help you guys out this season?
Yeah, Charlie's a really talented player. Still learning the system, just like with all the rookies, but he has all the potential in the world, and I'm excited to see him grow. He's going to be a great player for us.
As far as Jonah's concerned, you've obviously been teammates with him. This is year 4. What would you say about his work ethic? Because I think there's been some questions about that since he missed the voluntary stuff, the trade request outside of the building.
Yeah.
Outside of the building.
No, there's no question.
What would you say about that?
No questions about that from me or anybody in there. We all know how hard Jonah works, the work that he puts in to go and put his best foot forward on Sundays. So I don't think that will affect his play at all.
Joe, the process of your off seasons, has it been an evolution, or is it something that you established pretty early on and you do the same things, or do you add to it or subtract it? What's it like?
We tweak a little bit every year. Just kind of getting comfortable now with the off season. Hopefully not having any setbacks. Coming into the training camp as healthy, as big and fast, and as strong as I can be.
Do you reassess goals at this point of the off-season, or is that already done in your mind? Personal and team.
Yeah, I think the goals never really change for me. They never really have. The top of the mountain is always the goal, personally and team-wise. So, even coming into the league, that was my goal, and I wouldn't say that has changed year to year.
If y'all are able to get big runs against light boxes next year, how much do you think that can maybe open up things in the pass game, or can that?
Yeah, that'll be critical for us this year. We all know how teams plan to play us, how they played us last year and towards the end of the year before. So we're excited about the run game. We're excited about the running backs we have. We're excited about the O-line that we have, and so we'll be able to hit some explosive runs this year and hopefully get teams out of those light boxes.
Do you remember the first time you met DJ Reader, and as someone who's in the locker room with him and sees what he does for you guys on the field against opponents, how would you characterize just how important DJ has been to what you guys have been able to do over the last 2 years?
Yeah, DJ's been one of those key guys that we brought in early on to help build this culture. Everybody sees what he does on the field. That's not really, what I'm talking about. He, the first time you meet DJ, it's like you're with somebody that you've known for a long time. He's very personable, and those are the kind of guys that we love here because they help build that locker room culture, build that team unity that you need to go out and win titles.
Joe, how different does the offense look now that Tyler Boyd's been back since last week? What does it look like for you guys just in the last week so far?
Yeah, we're excited about where we're at right now. Obviously everybody knows how good TB is in the slot, but I think what last year showed and what these first couple weeks have showed is that guys can step up into that role as well and make plays. Guys that we're excited about. So I think we have a lot of depth at a lot of different positions this year that maybe we haven't had in years past.
And how different does all of that feel from this time last year when you guys were together to where you guys are right now in minicamp?
Yeah, I think we just feel much better about the squad, about where we're at, about the guys we have in that locker room. And not much has changed locker room wise from last year. It's just another year in the system for all these guys and another year that we've had working together, understanding how each other works. So it's going to be big for us.
A few minutes ago, you said the top of the mountain was the team's goal and your personal goal. Assuming the team goal would be win a Super Bowl, what is that? How would you define the top of the mountain for a personal goal?
Well, being the best in the world, I think that's always been my goal.
You've talked a lot about you enjoy like the night before games, you like watching fights. How long has that been a thing, and why do you find that why do you like to be part of your pregame routine?
Well, hopefully, as long as they're not on at 1 in the morning and we have a 1 o'clock game, then I'll watch them. But just something to do the night before a game. I don't know. It's you always just try to relax and get your mind away from it for a little bit the night before, whether you're watching football or basketball or whatever you decide to watch. The whole goal of that for me is just to, kind of calm my mind before bed and get ready to take on the next task, which is the game.
But why do you find MMA maybe relaxing? Others may not. What makes it relaxing to you?
I would just say anything that takes my mind away from football is relaxing. Maybe not specifically MMA, but a lot of different things.
Do you see any corollaries between maybe the guys who were prize fighter champions and being the lead quarterback in the NFL? Have you thought about that at all?
Well, whenever you're at the top of what you do, you always have respect for those guys because you know the work that it takes to get to that point where I'm at, where guys in the locker room are at, and where people all over the world are at their specific job in all sports.
Have you been practicing more frequently this offseason, different arm angle throws than you ever had before?
I think that would be a fair statement. I think, when you always try to find things to work on and things that you can improve on, and I feel like I'm at a point now where I can. You're always tweaking and you're always getting better at different things, but I know that I could take a 3-step drop and take a hitch and throw it on time where I want to, but I think this is the time of year where you can kind of experiment a little bit and find out what you can get away with and what you can't, and what you can do and what you can't. And so that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
What can that unlock in your game if you add that to it?
That's tough to say. I think some more off-schedule plays, getting the ball in guys' hands maybe a little faster than years past. We'll see.
Jamar was talking about when he works on during this time period in the spring. He works on being more creative with routes. How does that impact you? Do you watch what he's doing? Do you guys talk about it? Do you see something in practice and store it away?
Yeah, we'll talk about it every now and then. He does his thing, and sometimes he'll break it out. And as long as we're on the same page, he's always where he's supposed to be at the time he's supposed to be there. And I always tell him, as long as that's happening, I don't really care what you're doing. Other than that.
Joe, you touched on it a little bit already, but how would you characterize the way the team's progressed, your progression
this offseason compared to, you know, the last couple of years, for example? Where do you see where the guys are going right now?
Yeah, I think we're ahead of where we were last year, just because we've had all of our guys on offense have been in the system except for, you know, 2 or 3 guys, and so they're learning it. But you know, we're not really slowing down for anybody, and those guys have done a great job getting up to our speed for guys that are brand new. And there's just little things here and there that when you've been in the system for 4 years now that you can talk with some guys about that are very unique, minute details that maybe you haven't been able to talk about in years past.
Jonah made mention of the fact of how important it was to him that you reached out to him. What does that make you feel like as a leader?
You know, I mean, we all talk about the chemistry we have in the locker room and the team unity, and that's just part of it. And that's, I think, why we've had a lot of success here is because guys love each other in that locker room, and that's real love, true love that you have for your teammates.
Joe, based on how the last 2 years ended, are you sensing or would you anticipate a higher level of motivation on the team going into this season?
I wouldn't necessarily say motivation. I would say maybe urgency. You know, we've been there, done that. Now it's time to take that next step. I wouldn't say that's extra motivation because we're motivated every game, every day, every year. But I would say the sense of urgency has risen in that locker room.
John, I think we asked you this, but I know a few months ago you and Blake Griffin purchased a farm in Iowa. Just kind of curious what went into that and how's that been going with like your other entrepreneurial stuff that you've been doing?
Yeah, that's just try to diversify that portfolio, you know.
Is there any specific person in the sports landscape, whether it be Patrick or LeBron, that have been very successful about what they're doing off the field, entrepreneur-wise, that you have liked watching what they've done, or maybe look up to what they've done?
Yeah, I mean, you see guys like LeBron and that do a lot of off the field stuff, and Conor McGregor, but I wouldn't quite say I'm at that point in my career yet. I would say that's probably another 5 years down the road where I'm starting to start businesses and all that. I'm still a young pup, early in my career, just focused on ball right now for the most part.
Joe, talking about being off the field, your activities and having some time away, and you're going to be gone for 6 weeks. In a couple of weeks, Taylor Swift's going to be in this state.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. We had a large discussion about it while you were out in practice. Do you have a favorite Taylor Swift song? See you, just like we saw Aaron Rodgers singing along to some of the songs.
You know, I have a lot of respect for what Taylor Swift has done with her career. I can't say that I'm listening to too much Taylor Swift on the speakers and the headphones. I know a lot of people that are, but that's just not me. Maybe I will stop. I've heard the tour is a lot of fun though. Maybe I'll stop by.
What do you listen to?
I'm kind of all over the place. I'll listen to some indie, I'll listen to some hip hop, some pop. I'll listen to just about anything but country. I'm not a country guy.
You spent some time last week at Great American Ballpark. Ellie De La Cruz has been brought up. As somebody who lives in the city, have you caught the buzz of another great athlete coming to town? What have you thought so far of him?
Yeah, he's exciting to watch. You kind of see how the city rallies around, you know, guys when they're up and coming and have a chance to be great, and that's just exciting that the city embraces you like that. I think, you know, those guys over there are starting to feel it because they're starting to, you know, put together a little run here. But you know, that's something that we've felt. You can feel it with FC Cincy too. I think the energy in the city right now is exciting.
Were you happy with your batting practice performance?
Yeah, I was. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be able to hit any home runs, but I was excited that I was able to. I've always kind of wondered if I could do that. Now I know.
When's the last time you swung a bat?
8th grade? 8th grade, yeah.
You swung?
Well, I went to one open field in high school. Got, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 swings. But other than that, first time since 8th grade, yeah.
Legit advice from Jonathan? Was that?
Well, yeah, I was a little, the bat head was a little behind. I was like, I'm a little late. And he said, just get it out in front. That's what I did.
Who is the best in the world, Joe? We talk about the best in the world. I guess, of football, what you want to be. Who do you think is the best in the world now?
I don't think there's any argument right now. It's Pat. Until somebody has a better year than he's had, he's the one to knock off.
Chris Sims has his top 40 quarterbacks, and you're number 2. He's got Pat 1, he's got you 2. Is that, you care anything about those kind of things, or is that just whatever?
No, I don't care about that. It's I know where I can get better. I know where I can improve, just like everybody does, and that's what really I'm focused on throughout the offseason, throughout the years. You know, incremental improvements to my game, and you know, if you maintain discipline, you'll get where you want to. Good. Thanks, guys.